Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video. Today I'm playing in the watercolour journal from Dina Wakeley. I know lots of you have managed to get your hands on it now. It's fabulous, and I have in fact finished this journal now, so there will be a flip through coming very soon. So I've spritzed the pages with water, so there's no gesso on the paper, and I'm just going to go straight in with Dina's scribble sticks. So if you don't know about scribble sticks, they are just basically sticks of pigment. So you can play with them in a kind of watercolour way. You can pick the pigment up and use it that way. And you can draw with them too. So I'm kind of just scribbling some of the colour onto the page. The page is nice and wet, so it's going to go on really lovely. And then I can move the pigment around once I am done. Of course, I'm going to go through with rainbow colours just to get those initial colours onto my page. I like to come to my art journal with a kind of playful feeling like, what can I do? How can I make this different? What will my supplies do on this paper? So I'm just playing with making some drips using, I think that's orchid. I've got this stick really wet at the end, and then I'm just kind of scribbling it on and letting it drip down the page. Um, it's kind of fun just to sort of see what you can do with the supplies that you've got. Try and think outside the box and bear in mind that there are so many ways that you can rescue pages if they get away from you. And quite often mine get to a point where I'm like, whoa, this is a lot now. But often end up quite liking it in the end, although it will usually go through some quite ugly phases. And that's embracing that knowledge that that will perhaps happen will give you a little bit more peace about it. So this is the lattice stencil, also from Dina. I'm using carnation paint on my blending tool and just pulling a little bit of stenciling across the page. So I haven't sealed the scribble sticks with clear gloss. I'm just leaving them in the knowledge that they may well activate and pull through into the paint, but I'm okay with that too. I'm trying really hard not to sort of overwork through the stencil so that it's less likely to make muddy colours. This lighter stenciling over the top of those brights is just going to push those away a little bit. Um, but you will see that this page goes through quite a busy phase. I'm continuing to go in with stenciling, so I'm just using some of the older stencils from Dina. I think this one's called Shape Mashup, if I'm reading that right. And a bit of turquoise, and I'm just popping some stenciling onto my page. So again, I'm just adding in a little bit more mark making onto my journal page, using these lovely lines to just add a bit more interest, I guess, into the background. and continuing to work with colours that are just going to play nicely together. So once you've gone in with rainbows colours, there's not really a lot you can get wrong with using more colour, except you will make it more busy. So be at peace with that. These are the new collage papers from Dina Wakley from her most recent release. And I am going to use this face. I think I used 3 of them. And here I'm just using white paint to stick these down, just using my finger, rubbing that white paint straight onto the background. It was quite thick. The reason for doing this is because if I go in with white paint, brush it around, it's probably going to activate the scribble sticks. And the whole point of putting the white behind the image is to just give that little bit of calm where the skin tone is going to be on the faces. And it just makes those images stand out a bit better. So once the paint dries, it will behave like glue. And you can see I'm just pressing those images on really lightly. I don't want to risk any of that paint coming through the collage image. So then I'm using the same stencil that I've used before, but now I am using black. The reason for this is that I want to help to ground those images that I've just put onto my page. And I'm going to use the stencil horizontally and vertically just to create a kind of crosshatch effect on my page. So sometimes I just have these little ideas. It's probably not original. I'm sure someone else will have done it too. However, when you have these ideas, I kind of get a little bit fixated, and I've done it on quite a few pages now. I've created these little crosshatch areas and I love it. And I think particularly when you've added very dark images onto your page, going in with some black and an effect like this or dots is a really great way to just help almost blend the edges of your images onto your journal page so they feel a bit less like they've just been kind of stuck there as an afterthought. So then I'm going to add a little bit of text stenciling. I've just got some black left over on my blending tool, so I'm only adding a very small touch here. It's not like a heavy application of paint that I'm using. Some little hearts. It's almost like something that I have to do on my journal pages, and particularly if there's faces or figures. Putting a heart on is just something that almost has become essential. So that's what I'm doing. So this is a piece of paper, I think, or maybe even card that I've just painted using Stoked. The reason for the Stoked is it's a little pop of bright fluorescent colour, works really nicely, and it will stand out well on my page. This is the Dina Wakley media glue that I'm using to stick these images, these hearts onto my images. Brilliant glue. It works really, really well. Then I've got my little tin of words that I've both stenciled and stamped out from various creators' designs, from Dina Wakley through to Darkroom Door, Tim Holtz. Just have these little stashes of quotes that I can go to and have a look through. It's a great way to have that creativity at your fingertips so you don't have to be getting loads of stuff out to just make a quote. And I don't always feel like writing in my journal either. Sometimes I do just want to stick some words in, and looking through and seeing which ones kind of speak to you in that moment is a nice way to work too. So popping those onto my page, and then can't actually remember what I did next. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, just outlining those boxes, adding some little black hearts, some teeny tiny ones onto my journal page. And that's this one finished. So although that background started off quite crazy, I think it kind of calmed down with those bold images on top of it. A few little tips and tricks of ways that you can blend images in and use your stencils in a different way. Think outside the box. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications so you get notified when new videos go live. And I hope to see you again soon.